Dear learners, in this lecture, I am going to discuss the derivation process in Urdu Hindi. So, the derivation process is different from the inflection process, which we have discussed in the previous lecture. So, inflection process, we are just adding some inflectional morpheme, which does not drive any new words. But in the derivation process, we are driving the new words by some suffixation as well as prefixation. And we are also driving the new meaning sometimes, the meaning of negation and many more. So these are the examples and these are the process comes under the derivation. So basically in derivation we are driving the new words or new meaning by the process of suffixation. So derivational morphology deals with how new words are created from existing ones using the morphemes. So there are some basic morphemes like the morpheme would be like book. So in derivation we create by some suffixation, so it becomes bookish. So in this example, we are creating totally the new words by just adding the ish suffix. Or we have the another example like teacher, teach. So teach become teacher. So here the teach is the verb and teacher is the noun. So it also useful for changing in the grammatical category. So it when you add any derivational suffix or prefix, so it also change sometimes the grammatical category or the parts of speech. So when you are making the from noun to adjective, from verb to noun, from noun to verb, from noun to another noun, so there are many changes occurs through the derivational suffixes in Urdu Hindi. So they add new meaning and they drive the new lexical item by the suffixation or as well as prefixation. Well, in inflection we have only suffixation process, but in derivation we have both types of process, suffixation as well as prefixation. So there are here one example from noun to adjective. So we have the example of noun like puja, worship. So it changed into pujani, that is the adjective. And from gyan to gyanshil. In Urdu, puja become pujaniye and ilm become ilmi. So that is the changes from the noun to adjective. And there are other examples of derivation from verb to noun, from noun to verb, and from verb to adjective. So from verb to noun, we have the example like padhna become padhai and likhna become lekhan. So these are the example from verb to noun. So padhna is the verb and it changes into the noun padhai, and the likhna is the verb and it change into the lekhan or writing. So that is the from verb to noun, and we have the noun to verb. So when we have the noun like raja, so it become raj karna. So sometime it uses like the compound verb to represent from noun to verb. So raj karna is the compound verb, and we have the both types of process, compound verb as well as the single verb. And pustak become verb to adjective. So in verb to adjective we have dekhna, so dekhna become drashtniye, and we have like prabhavit karna, so it become the prabhavshil. So that is the dekhna is verb. So from verb we change into the adjective dashtniye, and the prabhavit karna is the verb. So prabhavit karna changes into the prabhavshali, which is the adjective. So that is the another process from verb to adjective. So when we are changing or driving the noun from any other category like verbs, adjectives or other nouns, so that is called the nominalization. So nominalization means basically we are making the verb or we are changing the verb into noun, we are changing the adjective into noun. So that is process called nominalization. So there are some set suffixes which used to for nominalization like pan, ta. And there are another example for derivation with the e suffix. So the base verb, which is the zard, so it change into the zardi, and the kitab change into the kitabi, and the dil change into the dili, and mazdur change into the mazduri. So there is a e suffix which used to driving the new noun with the e suffix. So there are types of in the types of derivation, we have some types of derivation like the non-derivation, so that we have already discussed. So we can create the noun by some prefix be, by bad, by dur, by ab, and by suffixes like e and ta and pan and I. So these are the suffixes that we use to create the nouns. So noun can be create from the nouns and from the adjective and from the verb. So sometimes from the noun we are creating the another noun. So the word iman. So by the word iman we can create the beimani. By battamiz we can create the battamizi. And by the drashti you can create dur drashti. By man you can create upman. So these are the prefix that we can use to driving the noun, so that they give sometimes the meaning of negation and sometimes the meaning of opposite meaning. And these are the prefixes be, bad, dur and ab. So we use to create the noun. And there are also some suffixes for driving the nouns. So in suffixes we have like e, we have ta, we have pan, we have I. So from the base verb kamjor, we can derive the noun kamjori. And from the sundar, we can create the noun sundarta. From pagal, we can create the word or the noun pagalpan. From pad, we can create the noun padai. So these are the suffixes which use to derive the noun. So we can derive many, means lots of noun, the list of noun on the basis of these suffixes e, ta, pan and I. Now the derivation of adjective. So we can also derive the adjective from nouns and verbs. So we have the example like sheher. So we can create the adjective shehri. We have the word like ilm. So we can create the adjective ilmi. So shehri is the meaning of the shehri is urban, or the ilmi means intellectual. We can create from siyasat, siyasi, that is the adjective. And we create from the base verb mulk, mulki. So these all are the adjectives. Ilmi and mulki is also adjective. Daulati is also adjective. So discuss how semantic meaning is added. So here we are adding some meaning by using some suffixes like e to create the adjective from the base word. So these are the nouns like mulk, daulat, siyasat, ilm and sheher. So these all are noun and we creating the adjective. So other types of derivation is called verb derivation. So in verb derivation, we can derive the new verbs by the suffixation process and sometime by the compoundation also. So compoundation means we can create the verb from the single verb into the compound verb. So that is also the derivation of the compound verb. So we have the verb like dekh. So we can create the causative verbs dikhana. So for example, if we have the word like मैंने या अहमद ने अहमद ने बच्चों को ताजमहल दिखाया. So this dikhaya is the causative verb. So which make someone to cause someone to make the causative action. So that is the causative verb, the dikhana, and it can also change in some indirect causative. So we will discuss in the next slide, like the दिखवाना. मैंने बच्चों को नौकर से ताजमहल दिखवाया. So that is the example of double, sometimes double causative or the indirect causative. And now come to the derivation of nouns in details. So there are several processes by which nouns are derived from the other parts of speech. The following subsections describe this derivation of abstract noun of agency, diminutives, and the noun compounds by affixation. So abstract nouns in Hindi Urdu are mainly the form by adding suffixes to root words, and while using the prefixes is also possible but much less common. So we have the different process, and we have the different rules and different types of suffixation and different types of prefixation to driving the nouns in Urdu Hindi. So we have like agency, noun of agency, abstract noun, diminutive noun, and noun compounds. They are creating by some affixation process. So affixation means sometimes we are adding prefix and sometimes we are adding suffixes. Prefix and suffixes. And infix is also comes under the affixation, but it is not very much common. It is not common in Urdu Hindi infixation process. So there are some prefixation through which we can create the noun from the word, basic word. So like the base form is gyan. So by the gyan we can derive the agyan. So from the honi we can create unhoni. From the base form is the kal, so we can create atikal. So this is the derivation of the noun or the abstract noun from the another noun by the prefixation process. And there are other derivation by prefixation. So these are other prefixes like adhi and anu. So from adhi we can create adhikar and adhi suchna, anukaran, and the uh, so the anukaran and anukirman. So these are the words we can create by just adding the anu prefix. So it gives sometimes the meaning of like subtypes and sometimes the meaning of negation to create the words or the nouns. So these are the derived nouns we can create by those prefixation like adhikar, adhisuchna, anukaran, and anukaraman. We have the some suffixes also to creating the abstract noun. So we have the suffixes like a and I. So word like gherna become ghera. So gherna is the base form, which is the verb, and it change into the ghera, which is the derived noun. We have word like ja, jagna, or it's become the jhagda. झगड़ना become the झगड़ा. It's not the जगना, बस झगड़ना. So झगड़ना change into the झगड़ा. So that is the suffixation process. So we remove some suffix and add the a suffix to drive the abstract noun. And we have I. So we have the word lamba, which is adjective, and it change into the noun lambai. And we have the verb like uncha, and it change to unchai. So there is we have the I suffix. So this is the I suffix we use to create the noun from the adjective. But in verb we have the like gherna become ghera and jhagadna become jhagda. You can see here the main in Urdu Hindi, jhagadna become jhagda. So we have another suffixation to create the abstract noun. So they are the like an and av. So there is a verb odna and it changed to the odan. And we have the verb chalna, it changed into chalan. We have bacha to change into the bachna is changed into the bachao. Lagna and change into the lagao. So these are the noun we are deriving from the verb, and we are just adding those two suffixes, sometimes an and sometimes av. So in udan we have an suffix, in chalan we have an suffix, in bacha in bachao we have av suffix, in lagao we have the av suffix to create the or to deriving the noun. Now come to the noun of agency. So noun of agency means when the noun is the doer of action. So when we are creating the noun from the verb or adjective of another noun, so that noun actually take the doer of action form. So that occurs as the subject and it performs as a doer of action. So like the teacher, worker, so they are the entity who perform some action in the sentence. So that kind of noun of agency we can derive from the verb lekh to lekhak, pad to pathak. So the lekhak and pathak are the noun which has some agent quality or the some doer of action quality. So lekhak who wrote something and the pathak who read something. And the other example of agency like kum from kumhar into kumhar, loha into lohar, dukh into dukhya, and ras into rasiya. So these are the another examples. So rasiya who perform some action or some aesthetics, and dukhya who is the person who actually suffer by some so some types of dukh and some type of and loha become lohar. So that is the noun of agency. So lohar is the person who do some action, who perform some action, and same types kumhar also. Now come to the other noun of other types of noun derivation, which is called the instrumental and diminutive. So in instrumental nouns, the name, the object or tools used to perform an action. So when some noun used in the form of no, subject or object, but it used to perform an action. Like from belna, we create the belna. So belna means the roller and belna to roll. So this belna means the verb which is belna, but this belna is the noun or the entity it used to roll something. So like when it is used, the roller is used in the cricket to make the pitch roll. So that is the belna verb. So many are derived by suffixation, typically by a, e, and ni added to the root verb. So these suffixes turn an action into the same of the instrument used to carry it out. So there are many suffixes so through which we can create these two types of noun. The instrumental noun by some na suffixes and the diminutive noun by some a, e, and ni suffixes. So there are some examples like the word jhulna become jhulna. So the verb belna become belna. So here this verb belna, this belna is the verb and this belna is the noun, means some object, some entity, bell roller. And this jhulna means swing, but this jhulna is the noun. And like chimta become chimatna is the verb, it change into chimti. Katarna is the verb, so the root form is katar, it changes into katarni. So here we have the ni suffix in this katarni, in chimti we have the e suffix, in jhula we have a suffix, in velna there is no suffix adding. We do not add any suffix in the velna, but this velna occur as verb and this velna occur as noun. So we can understand the differences between the noun and verb through the context. So these are the instrumental and diminutive. Instrumental noun that we are deriving from the base verb. And the diminutives can be derived from by adding some ya, a, and e suffix into the noun base. So diminutive express the smallness or the affection or the endearment of the meaning. So when we use some object in terms of smallness, like bachcha become bachchu or bachiya, and dukh become dukhiya. So this kind of noun dukhiya is comes under the diminutives. Bachiya is come under the diminutives, or bachchu is also comes under the diminutives. So we have example like dibba changed into the dibya, kotri changed into kotriya, and dukh changed into dukhiya, bachcha changed into the bachchiya or bachchi or bachchu. So these are the example under the diminutives. So we are adding some ya suffix and some a and e suffix to driving or for creating those kind of diminutives in Urdu Hindi. Noun also derives from the noun. So there are most of the prefix that we use to derive the another noun. So they give some meaning of negation. So they are adding the meaning of negation, intensity, or the quality when we are deriving the noun from the noun. So like we have the words like sharam. So sharam change into the be sharam. So here we are adding the be prefix. So it gives the meaning of negation. Iman, be iman. Matlab, be matlab. So this be is the prefix used to create the negative meaning by prefixation. So that is the noun. So we are deriving the another noun with the negative meaning. So here we have another example like badtamiz, bar, waqt, and na pasand. So there is a bar suffix, there is bad suffix, there is na suffix. So with bad we can create badtamiz, with bar we can create bar waqt, with na we can create na pasand. So that is the noun from the another noun which give the meaning of negation. Another prefixes, so like we have up, we have dur, we have ku, and we have nir. So from up, the base word is man, so it becomes the upman, the meaning of dishonor or insult. Dasha is the base word, so we can add the dur prefix. So it becomes the durdasha. Durdasha. Karam become kukaram. So there is a ku prefix we are adding here. There is a dosh and nirdosh. So ni is the prefix that we are adding to negative meaning. Here we are adding the up prefix upman. So upman gives the meaning of dishonest. Dasha become durdasha, which give the meaning of bad condition, and karam become the kurkaram, which give the meaning of sin or deed, and dosh become the bad deeds and the sin, and dosh become the nirdosh, which give the meaning of innocent or faultless. There are also some suffixes in to create the noun from the noun. So when we are creating these are all noun. So we are deriving the another noun by adding some suffixes. So these are the suffixes dar, gar, band, and chi. So when we have the dar in zameen, so it becomes zameen dar. When we add the gar in jadu, it becomes the jadu gar. When we add the band in kamar, it becomes the kamar band. When we add the chi in khajana, it becomes the khajan chi. So these are the words also used in both Hindi and Urdu. Zamidar, Jadugar, Kamarband, and Khajanchi. So they derive from the another noun by some suffixation process. And these are the suffixes that we used to derive those words. And now the other suffixes like dan and khana. So these are also very common in Urdu, Hindi both. So like if we have word like kamal, so kamal dan. When we have the word sharab, sharab khana. So there are lots of words we can create, derive from noun to another noun by the uh, suffix khana or khana. Like sharab khana, ghusl khana. These kind of words we can used in Urdu, Hindi both. And there are another types of derivation which comes and which is also derive the noun from adjective. So here we are discussing previously we are discussing the derivation of noun from the noun. We are discussing the derivation of noun from adjective. So there are lots of adjective. So we use some types of suffixes and it give the meaning of noun. So when we add the suffixes like e, ta, pan, I, iyat and as in the word, in the adjective, so they change into the noun. And these suffixes noun to describe they describe a state and quality condition related to the adjective. Means they are occurring as a noun in the sentence, but they also describing the condition of noun in terms of adjective like the quality, condition and the state of the entity. So like the adjective kamjor, so it become kamjori. So we derive kamjori by derivation by using the suffix e. Khush become khushi and garam become garmi. So here we are using the e suffix to creating the noun from the adjective. So these all are adjectives. Kamjor, khush, garam, and these are the noun we deriving from adjective by adding the e suffix like kamjori, khushi, garmi. And there are another suffix like ta and pan. So we can create the noun from the adjective. So adjective like moor, to it become moorsta. Pagal, it become pagalpan. So the pagal is adjective and this adjective change into the pagalpan, madness. Amurta, stupidity. Stupidity. So there are other suffixes that we use for the derivation of noun from the adjective like I, yet or us. Like par is the verb. So adjective or sometime verb. So this is the par is the verb. So the par change into the padai. Not so nouns of derivation of nouns from adjective and as well as verb. So par become padai. As asli become asliyat and meetha become mithas. So this asli and meetha is the adjective. So we can create the noun like asliyat and mithas from these base words. So when we are adding in asli the iyat suffix, so it become asliyat. When we are adding the as suffix, so it become the mithas. But in padai, when we are adding the I suffix, so it become padai. So this is the another process or another suffixes that we use to driving the nouns. Uh, there are another suffixes also for the derivation of the nouns from adjectives. So these are the suffix like ta, suffix like pan, suffix like at and iyat and as we have already discussed. So ta, pan and I. So by pan we can pagal pan, pad become padai, asli become asliyat, mithas, mitha become mithas. That we have already discussed. And now become change the noun, we can derive the noun from verb also by adding some na suffix. So the base verb likh and pad. So when we are adding the na suffix in both, so it becomes the likhna which is the noun and padna which is the verb. So this likhna and padna is actually a verb in the language, but we are using in a sentence likhna and padna. So they are the verbal noun or the gerund. So they used and they give the meaning of noun or they occur as a noun. They function as a noun in a sentence. But if you somebody asking that what is the verb for writing, so he said likhna because in Urdu Hindi we are not using the likh verb when somebody pronouncing the verb uh, in the lexical context means in single form. So it is like likhna. We are not saying likh, padhna. So these likhna and padhna is actual form of verb which occur in a language with the infinitival na. So there is an infinitival na in these verbs. But these likhna and padhna is also the noun. So they function as a noun in some sentences, means the verbal noun or the gerund. For example, if somebody say पढ़ना अच्छी बात है या लिखना सीखना चाहिए. So these kind of derivational noun we use in a sentence. And we have many more examples where we are deriving the noun from the verb. So like there is a verb root like लिख. So in लिख we are adding some another verb root like yak. So when we use the yak, so it becomes the lekhak, and sometimes it becomes the likhai. From bana we are using some banawat. We are creating by the word suffix. From chap we can use the chap. So that gives the meaning of the noun in Urdu Hindi. So like the printing. So when the verb noun chap change into the chap or the chapna. So that is the printing. Chap change into the chap or chapna.